Hey, welcome to another installment of Three Nerds and a Minister. I'm Chuck with,
Z Dupree.
Lucas Mallory.
And Austin Corbett.
and we're short a nerd. Our fellow thespian Hunter is off dentist appointment.
We try to keep a 3 nerd minimum.
Yeah, we try. Topics for the day are: we just finished viewing the 1993 Disney movie Nightmare Before Christmas. I almost said Elm Street. I did. I got close. Nightmare Before Christmas. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about movies we've seen so far this summer. And since it is July and we just celebrated July 4th about a week ago, we'll look at and talk about what freedom means to us. But before we start, let's look at on our Facebook page. If you had a chance to check it out on Facebook, Three Nerds and a Minister, 3 spelled Three. We are up to 74 likes on our page so far.
What are we up to?
And some
74?
people just put the number 3. It's specific. Spell the word 3. Just don't type in the number 3.
What do you get if you just type in the number 3?
You won't get it.
What you just don't
I never thought we'd make it this far.
I didn't think we were going to get 74. It's slowly growing. Though I've always dreamed.
We got more views now on YouTube channel.
Really?
What?
Which video?
Don't worry about it.
Hey, wait a minute.
We're good.
We're on
Continue.
Three Nerd business. We're not talking about whatever this extracurricular activity stuff y'all are doing.
Roll.
We'll talk about that. It is rolling. We're a minute and a half into the
We
podcast.
won't talk about it either. Roll.
Why
First up.
is it inappropriate?
No.
Says the boy who's blushing to yeah.
Look at them Rosen Red chainsaw.
Jumping into the first topic we just saw, and I didn't realize that we were talking about it. The 1993 movie Nightmare Before Christmas. This is Austin. Is it Austin or Zeke's favorite movie?
It's my favorite movie.
Zeke's favorite movie.
It's my favorite movie. I picked it.
I brought it.
I provided the film playing
Anyways.
mechanics.
It's a DVD player attached to a television.
Anyway, Zeke, tell us a little bit about Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, Nightmare Before Christmas is based from a Tim Burton script that he created.
It was like the first thing he ever did.
Was it?
It was based on a poem that he had written when he was a Disney animator.
It's what basically kickstarted him into movies and whatnot.
And at one point, there was a thought about doing it as like a special or like a holiday type 30-minute type deal. And then in 91, he signed the deal with Disney.
To get
but
greenlit to have a full.
yeah, but Disney they didn't release it though as a Disney picture. They released it under the Touchstone because of the elements of the movie. You know, scared it
fright, yeah.
because of fright. They thought kids wouldn't like it. You know, i.e. the
Touchstone.
National Treasure movies, the
Yeah.
pirate movies, Lone Ranger are all been under the Touchstone,
I
which
still
is a
remember the
division
logo for
of.
Touchstone. It's like a circle with like
Mhm.
some slashes going through it, like
Yep,
a
and
comet or something.
Yep, and it's still that way. So I mean,
Or
but so
like-
Disney backed it, but Tim Burton, when he was an animator,
They
came up with
produced it more.
but it was a poem when it first started. You know,
Yeah.
i.e. the night, was Night Before Christmas, the Nightmare Before Christmas. So
The
When
Nightmare.
all through the house.
So it's what happens in the movie is that the Pumpkin King, Jack Skellington, who I went
Who is
to,
a skeleton?
who I went to the Disney Halloween party as,
oh, there's got to be a photo of that somewhere.
with my ex-girlfriend who
There's
played
got to be a photo of
with
that.
my ex-girlfriend who was Sally.
The Scarecrow Woman.
Oh, I didn't hear about that part.
You did?
No, I want to see the picture of Zeke as Jack Skellington.
There's one in
She's
that
more like a
yearbook.
patchwork doll.
Is there?
Yeah,
She's full of leaves.
and she's ragdoll. Actually,
Patchwork.
yeah, I guess you call it patchwork. You don't
She's
wanna
like a
call it
pumpkin
ragdoll.
patch
I
kid.
just remember something your dad said about your costume.
You'll tell me later, I'm sure.
I'll say it now.
Go ahead.
Because she was talking how you can dress up as Disney characters. I was like, but Zeke dresses Jack Skellington. And he was like, do you think Disney would hire somebody like that to play Jack Skellington?
So I am overweight. Don't worry about it.
This year was like, who would
That's
write
great. I love it.
I was like, who would confuse him for Jack Skellington?
Though there was this one guy who was there with his like wife and daughter who was in the same costume, but he was like 6'7" and lean. Like he had almost like no body fat on him.
Whatsoever.
He was just like lanky.
Who wore it best?
That guy. Go into
First and second place.
anyways, the movie is about Jack Skellington and how he is bored with his life as the Pumpkin King, and all they do is celebrate Halloween. And so he wanders into this forest and he finds these portals into the other Halloween towns, or the other holiday towns. And he then
He gets sucked into the Christmas Town thing, goes to Christmas World, gets all hyped up about Christmas, tries to share it with his Halloween people. They kind of don't get it, and they end up.
Kind of don't get it.
They kind of don't get it. They get it like
They
okay.
get
we're
the
gonna-
And he
elements.
graduated with honors. Kind of don't get it.
They kind of don't
They
understand.
get the concept
Just
of
put, like, dead bodies.
They just want to. They think it's a new way to scare
Yeah.
people.
Like snakes.
and then then Jack destroys Christmas for the human world after he sends Santa to get comfortable with the 3 minions who take him to Oogie Boogie, or the Boogeyman.
These minions being Lock, Shock, and Barrel, who
They are
Chuck finds
hysterical.
very disturbing.
They're hysterical. They're hysterically disturbing little kids in Halloween
And
costumes.
so when Jack gets back to Halloween Town from destroying Christmas,
But after he catches his mistake, he realizes he made a mistake trying to play a part that he's not supposed to play.
And
Which
he's
I
like,
like that element. You know, he thought he was doing a cool thing, you know, making these toys, but like Austin and I were just kind of talking about. My favorite scene is when the parents walk in and the boy says, "What'd you get?" And he pulls out the shrunken head.
I like it when the little kid's just screaming at the boa constrictor eating the tree. Just freaking out. He's got spiked up hair. He looks like Tweak.
It's like lemon grab when he puts the bag. Start eating the pie.
he's like,
My essence.
And when he catches his mistake, he's like, "I'm cool being the Pumpkin King now that I'm mad about Christmas."
And then he's got to go back to Halloween
Halloween Town.
Halloween
Hell.
Town. Or
And-
Halloween
and-
World.
or whatever. Well, I was said Halloween Town, but I'm thinking there's another Disney.
Yeah, it's
couple
like
of series,
it's a television
movies.
movie, but
Yes, a couple of them. But it goes back to Halloween Town because he's got to go rescue Santa and the damsel,
Sally.
Sally goes to rescue Santa
Santa.
first because
And
she
she
has a
gets caught.
premonition about
Well, she had a premonition from the beginning.
Christmas is
Christmas.
just it's a no-go, Jack. Don't do it.
Yeah, you don't make
He can't take a
holidays.
hint.
anyways,
He wasn't. They couldn't take a hint, or he just was so overwhelmed by what he thought were the possibilities of, you know, not doing the same thing every day, but doing this brand new thing that he was not made to
Well,
do.
she's like, "This is a bad idea," and he thinks she's talking about the person he chose to make his suit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she'd already had a bad premonition.
and so
from the
when he
beginning.
goes and saves Santa and Sally from Oogie Boogie,
Who's like the bully of Halloween
Yeah, and-
Town.
I still don't understand like why he's separated.
Because he's mean.
Thank you, because I blinked and all of a sudden there were bugs
in the,
everywhere. I
In
thought,
the
what did I
first
I
song,
know
like,
it was
that's our
blink. And all of
job,
a sudden
but we're not mean.
He disintegrated.
Come on.
Come on!
We had our first call in.
It's not important. If it is, he'll call back.
Oh, is that your mom?
No,
Was
I
I
said
saying-
he.
Well, I didn't want to. I just catch
It's
it.
Mark.
Okay, it's not important. So much for our first
Shout out, my brother Mark calling me in the middle of a podcast.
first live call in. Woohoo! But
It's like off of Talking Dead. They had their first like crazy call in. Like they were talking, and this guy called in, like started like quoting the Bible, and like just weird stuff. It's incredible. And then so back to the movie. So he saves Sally and Santa, and he kills Oogie Boogie.
Oh, Santa kills him.
Well, he tears him.
We're
Jack
not sure
tears
if
him
he
apart.
kills him because he comes back for like the Kingdom Hearts games. I told you I'd work it in there somehow. Kingdom Hearts, give me free things.
Get out.
We should get sponsors. Disney.
I don't know about Disney sponsoring.
Touchstone.
I don't know about Disney sponsoring this one. Touchstone maybe.
Kingdom Hearts.
Too many
Whoever
fart gags.
does Kingdom Hearts. Hey, they did Wreck-It Ralph. Come on.
Happy holiday.
Which is great. And then, so he rescues Santa, he saves Halloween Town, and then he releases Santa back into the human world, who fixes all of Jack's mistakes by giving all the children real toys.
And saving the large child from his maniacal pumpkin Jack in the Box. Jack in the Lantern, Jack in the Box.
That's a mouthful right there. Jack o' Lantern and Jack in the Box.
And so he saves everything, and then the movie ends with him and Sally kissing in front of the moonlight, which happened at Disney World.
There's a lot of parodies within the movie if you haven't guessed by now, like with the sleigh. You remember when Zero, when she used all
Yeah.
the fog juice?
Rudolph. Yeah, Zero is
Sally tries to sabotage
Zero
Christmas.
is his dog who has a bright red nose. So it's like the parody of Rudolph. And then there's like
There's a parody of Frankenstein because Sally has a creator.
and she's
Well, I think they just call him Doc
no, it's Finkelstein.
Finkelstein.
Dr. Finkelstein. It's fecal, not Finkel.
Well, no. Step it.
And then there's a parody of Frosty the Snowman where Jack jumps into the Christmas world and he's in the snowman.
He's
like,
in this. Yeah. No one really caught that, I don't think.
I mean, there's a lot of innuendos in it, so. That's the first time I'd seen it. It's been out for 20 years, and I hadn't even ever seen it. I mean, I've seen parts, and I knew some of the music.
Movies is older
I think
than I am.
I like that. But I like the music aspect of it.
There's a lot more singing in it than you'd probably think.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, as long as the music goes with the story.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like these movies that all of a sudden got thrown in singing just because they got to get somebody who has a good voice.
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
What is it?
Which that was a musical on Broadway.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, so.
with you, Jackman. Ow!
And you know he did all his own vocals in that.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the man can sing.
He's Australian too.
Ow! We won't hold that against him. Moving forward.
This is the movie that taught me sympathy and empathy.
So what happened?
Like when the kids start getting
What are you
scared.
gonna say? What? You got something smart to say, Mr. Corbett. Please share.
I don't.
Like when the kids start getting attacked by the toys. I didn't really care about any of the other kids until I saw the large child being chased by the Jack-in-the-Box.
Jack-o'-lantern and the Jack-in-the-Box.
I was like, large child in distress. Someone help him. He's in his house by himself.
he has no parents. They're all working at night.
Expecting Santa
Diabetes
Claus.
got him.
Heart attacks and strokes everywhere.
Plus, I think he was wearing glasses. It reminded me of me. I don't know. I was reminded of myself.
Stretching there, but we got you. We got you.
Moving on to topic number 2. The number of movies we've seen this
The number
summer.
are what movies we've seen?
And what movies.
Okay.
Austin and I have been to the theater every other weekend, sometimes even during the week, to see movies. We've seen
It's
The
like
Lone
It's
Ranger,
like your parent.
World War Z,
Monsters University.
Monsters U.
How was that one?
That was really good.
It was really good.
Monster University?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Rachel stopped. I wanted to go see it, but we haven't had a chance to.
Yeah, it's really good. The Lone Ranger's really good, and World War Z could have been better.
Well, we've already discussed that, and we haven't done it in a podcast, but I'm in the process of reading the book right now, and I like the book. I mean, I've enjoyed the book because I like the way they set it up. And Zeke and I, I think Austin was with us, and maybe Hunter a few weeks ago. We talked about how they probably could have done that better, and we don't want to. We're not going to ruin the movie for you, but the book and the movie don't go along.
No.
They don't coincide, and the feeling was, I think it was you and me that came with the idea. I think it was you that said, and I agreed, was that they probably should have done the movie like they did Interview with the Vampire,
Yeah.
where you had the interaction between the writer and the interview and the interviewees, and having the scenes happen as they're describing. I think that would have made, because when I heard it was coming to a movie and didn't know the book myself until Austin, I think you were the first person to tell me about it. And like I said, I'm about halfway through it. I mean, I've enjoyed reading it. It's neat, and it's kind of like, if you didn't know anything about history, you would think it's real.
And then we've seen, what else have we seen? We've seen Iron Man 3, Gatsby, which was,
Catwoman 3D.
I loved Great Gatsby.
Read the book. Don't go see the movie.
Don't see the movie.
Don't see the movie.
Don't do
Do it.
either. Don't do
Read
either.
the book. Don't see the movie.
See the movie.
The movie may be great, but the soundtrack's atrocious.
No, the soundtrack was
If you watch the movie, it
great.
goes with it.
I don't care. It's still atrocious.
Yeah.
It's part of a soundtrack to go along with the movie.
Not when every word's going to be bleeped out.
Soundtrack?
Yeah.
Why is PG-13?
I don't care.
Well,
I go to
so-
iTunes, and the two soundtracks that are listed for Great Gatsby have a huge red E next to them. You tell me what's wrong with that picture.
And then we saw Fast and Furious 6,
Yeah, Fast and Furious 6.
which was, yeah,
How was that?
it was another Fast and Furious movie.
How was it?
There's a lead into like Tokyo Drift.
Yeah,
But you know what?
it does.
Yeah, well, I've heard about that, but
it was entertaining.
It was
You
okay.
got what you expected out of it. If you
is
like
it
awesome set
me and
pieces.
most of us we've seen enough movies in our lives to know when you see a franchise that should have stopped a long time ago, whereas this one, with every movie after the first 2 or 3, they've stepped it up a notch and they've almost made it almost like a standalone movie that you could literally take it out of the series and make it a standalone. And all of a sudden we're going full circle back to Tokyo Drift, and when it came out, everybody was going, "What is this?"
They just keep out
It
good
was-
set pieces.
It was over the top, but not as over the top as Fast 5.
Well, even so, but Fast 5 and Fast 6, even Fast 4 could have been standalone movies.
I've probably seen a couple of those movies. I couldn't tell you which ones I've seen.
It
Fast
didn't.
Five had like the train. Fast Six
Mhm.
had the big airplane.
It had the world's longest runway. It stretched across Europe.
Mhm.
Because they stayed on the
That one was
runway
like 13 miles
for 40 minutes. It was incredibly long.
Like the world's largest runway
Yeah,
or racetrack.
runway.
Whoa.
And so, it's interesting.
It was
Of those movies that you guys have seen, which one would you pay money to go see in the theater again? Which one would you wait for the DVD? And which one would you not go see again?
I would not go see World War Z again.
Okay.
I would go buy another ticket to see either Monsters U or The Lone Ranger, and then I would either buy Gatsby or Fast 6 on DVD.
I would buy Gatsby on DVD. I'll probably go watch not World War Z, Monster University again. And then I want to go see World War Z again.
Oh, what did I do? I saw like 3 movies.
What have you seen?
There's the Star Trek.
Any good?
It was okay. I mean,
This is the
I watched it in one of those huge theaters, like the really good 3D things. But every time I watch 3D movies, my head ends up hurting afterwards.
Wait, time out. Are you wearing your glasses when you see them or not?
Yeah.
Okay, the reason I ask is I can't watch a 3D movie without wearing my glasses. It kills me. I don't see the hoopla about 3D
Like I have to wear
movies.
glasses over my glasses. I'm not a fan of that.
No,
Like,
I don't
just
wear.
see a regular 2-dimensional picture.
And the thing is for
Should
me,
have
I'm
paid an
saying
extra
it
$7.
kills my eyes. The 3D movie does. And why pay $12 when it's going to come on DVD? I'm going to pay $14 for it anyway. And so, I digress badly, but you get the point. So you saw Star Trek?
Yeah.
We didn't see Star Trek.
Yeah.
And the other 2 that I saw, I can't remember.
So none of you guys have seen Man of Steel yet?
No.
No,
We could have, but we didn't.
we could have.
So there's
but
not you don't have a desire to see it?
I mean,
I don't know.
Why?
Because it doesn't follow suit. Because
The comics.
it doesn't follow the comics at all. He doesn't have a weakness to kryptonite in this series.
But aren't they following the Earth One graphic series on the movie? Are they taking it? Have you read that one?
I haven't even. I don't like DC.
Is that title correct? Earth One, Superman Earth One.
I don't do the comics that much,
He's
man.
not another Kryptonian, so it's not like he could use kryptonite anyways.
Yeah, I know. So I mean,
I don't do
They
DC.
saw it when he
So
first got
I'm Marvel all day.
So
Repping.
nobody knows his weakness because he just got there.
What we are going to go see is Wolverine when it comes out first day.
I want to see 2 Guns.
I've been watching Japanimation.
Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah, two.
oh yeah, I
guns.
saw the ads for that. It looks like it might be funny.
And that movie with Vince Vaughn, the new movie.
Oh yeah,
They-
where he has like the 524 kids.
He donated his
No, I haven't seen that. I don't know. Never mind.
They're like somehow.
Somehow there's a mistake, and he wound up with 524 kids.
And he's
Oh my
like,
goodness.
And now they're all suing to figure out who their biological father
So he's
is.
like going one by one. Just
And so
fucking
he's
with
like
it.
taking out
And
pictures.
who's in
And
it?
Vince Vaughn is playing. The,
Oh, never mind. That
It
was
looks pretty good though.
but they don't
Right.
know. But they don't know that he's the father. He's
Right.
just going around like helping these kids.
I tell you, one of the previews that I've seen, and I showed it to you a couple weeks ago, was the one for. No, I showed it to Hunter for Lego. The
Oh,
movie?
No, I'm not gonna do it.
No.
No.
Never seen any of
The
it.
games are pretty good.
But it's the movie's done. But the movie's done in stop animation like this one was, and it looks like it's gonna be hysterical.
I
No.
do. I hate the cartoons.
I want to see Anchorman 2.
Nah, there's
Will
not.
Ferrell and
Seen the
Paul
first
Rudd.
one. Not gonna see the second one.
Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy.
Nah. Not my cup of
I
tea.
think Phil just killed someone. He's just running around with a grenade. Ah!
And then
Did you hear that guy with the trident?
just
Yeah.
What about Pacific Rim?
No.
I'm on the
The
edge.
more I see the previews, the more it's interesting, but it looks like
Because-
it's blown.
Because all it is like Transformers meets Godzilla.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't want to watch it.
I kind of want to go see it, but
Power Rangers. Nobody.
go.
Dun, 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 dun,
Did you
dun,
realize that all their fights took place in Japan, like in the '90s show?
Yeah, it was all
They-
video was from the Japanese,
Yeah.
Japanese edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
They found the one
but it was-
English-speaking high school / smoothie bar /
It was-
rec center.
It was so
In
good,
Japan.
like lip dubbed, that I couldn't even tell the difference.
Oh, yeah, you could. You could tell about the scenery. Watch it again now that you're older. Watch the first season of Power Rangers,
Yeah.
and when they're doing the
Like when they're nodding their heads in their suits.
no, but when the background all of a sudden changed where they were, the locations changed. All of a sudden you got this
Yeah, you
factory looking scene. All of a sudden, like, wait a minute, we're at the high school. How did we get here? You know, for the
Like-
fights, or in the middle
like
of nowhere.
They're
on a
they're,
beach.
they're at Mount. They're in the middle of Arizona, and then all of a sudden they're at
Yeah.
Mount Fuji.
Yeah, it's just kind of a strange segue off of Pacific Rim and the Power Rangers. I'm trying to think of another preview I've seen recently.
What do you think of TMNT?
Who?
Teenage Mutant
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ninja.
A TNT. What about them? The new one or the
Yeah.
new series that's on? Or?
No, the new movie that's coming out.
Oh, please don't do another one of those.
They're doing.
I'm glad our Teenage Mutant Ninja
This
Turtles
is this Jerry Bruckheimer or Tim Burton?
geek boy is not here. Let's find out.
I think it's Bruckheimer.
Catching Fire.
Which one's that?
That's the second.
Second Hunger Games.
Oh, that's right. Ooh, speaking of movie, I know another trailer I just saw. How have either of you read?
Ender's Game.
Austin.
Yes.
That's-
Yeah, I've read it.
It's on like.
You know they've made a movie.
Yeah, with Harrison
Ford.
Ford.
I saw the trailer.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
But-
I don't know though,
What?
because I didn't really care for the books.
I read the book. It was good. The whole book.
What are we talking about?
Ender's Game.
Ender's Game. It's 70 years after the Earth's been destroyed by aliens, and they're putting together a super army led by children to lead the attack. And Harrison Ford's in it, and it's got Ben Kingsley, and it's got a huge cast.
It's like
But I just read a
Lord of the
report
Flies stuff right
where
there.
there are certain groups that want to boycott it.
Why?
Children in War. Dude.
No,
I don't know.
it's because
I don't know.
the guy who
I
wrote
don't-
it, the guy who
License
wrote it
card.
is pro marriage.
Oh, pro gay marriage.
He's pro gay marriage, and I just saw on Yahoo this morning out of the blue, because I did not realize that I had not heard anything about it 'cause I wasn't familiar with the book. The movie though looks special effects in it look great. It's got Harrison Ford. Hello.
Like,
Nothing
am
wrong.
I the only one sitting here like they're not gonna make it into heaven? I mean, I don't understand. Like, what's the problem?
Still got that goal line defense.
Yeah, I mean that Golden Gate's just sitting there. Nope, ain't getting in here.
But they're doing a big thing because, and it's not because of the movie, because of the author of the
Orson Scott Card.
series. Do what?
Orson Scott. That's the dude who wrote the books.
Yeah,
I've read the series.
yeah. I mean, the series looks neat.
It gets crazy after a second of the book.
I haven't read this.
That's the one with Megan Fox in it, isn't it?
Which one?
Tina did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Megan. They said that
What?
they had to dye her hair red or something.
Yeah, Jonathan Lisberman is the director.
Lisbon.
I'm looking at them. Pulled up the slide right now, looking at the cast. I was not. 2014 though was the release date.
Half Lisbon, half man.
Whoopi Goldberg's in it. Oh, it makes me
Who's
not wanna
Whoopi
go see it.
Goldberg playing?
Shredder.
No, Shredder's being played by William Fichtner.
Okay, I want to see the new Mad Max coming out with
The video game.
with
The
Bane
movie, yeah.
playing.
They're doing another movie.
Yeah, they're doing
Oh
Mad
my
Max
gosh!
4.
Why do we have to rehash something that's been
Like a guy
already
that
played
runs
out?
around with 2 pistols and a pocket full of painkillers. I'm gonna get everybody.
They should have done. I think they should let Mel Gibson have one last shot at either that or Lethal Weapon.
In his walker.
Yes.
It's apocalyptic.
The bottom just got like chainsaws on it. It's like
they stall.
I hear you. Last minutes we got left in our podcast. Another topic on our list is we just celebrated July 4th this last Thursday. So what does freedom mean to Lucas Mallory?
Starbucks. I don't know. I don't like Starbucks.
But what does freedom mean when you think about it? Being, we're born in this. We celebrate our independence. That's what we celebrate our 237th year of independence from
Britain.
Britain. And so what is
Suck it, redcoats.
Yeah.
Take
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Elizabeth.
but what does that mean? What does that mean?
The ability to like make a decision, like have your own
Free will.
to like make a decision based on what you want, and like not have to worry about the consequences as much as you'd have to like if
Okay.
someone was like forcing your hand.
Okay. Austin, what's freedom mean?
To do, like, to follow whatever you want to do, and like for your religion, you can do stuff without being like persecuted.
Okay.
Well, not everything. Free of persecution. I mean, our prisons are still full. And Guantanamo Bay is still open.
I mean, like as far as like those and all.
I mean,
Free market economy. I don't think so.
when the founding fathers were writing that Declaration of Independence, we hold this truth be self-evident that all men are created equal.
I hope when they said all men are created equal, they just like shot glance at each other like, yeah.
Well, at the time,
It's pursuit of happiness.
pursuit of happiness,
It depends on what we define as men.
unfortunately, yeah.
Just white men from Britain. That's it. All
Everyone else is
created
a
equal.
savage or a slave.
Or a woman.
Or
Yeah. Thank goodness we've changed some from that.
Women are still here though, and it's true though.
It is true.
Our women are still here in our society, but it's better than being here and house cat being here. Well, that's a bad place to be if you're a woman.
But you're right. They're still not. I mean, it's gotten better, but it'll never be perfect. So I mean,
I think
But-
I've sat in the same every single position that I can.
are you that bored?
do you not know how to sit on an ottoman or something?
Are you that
No,
bored?
actually, I'm a professional ottoman.
You're a what?
I'm a harem.
You're a harem.
He has a harem in his virtual world
Of like what?
of PlayStation
Cats?
Home.
Okay.
On PlayStation Home, he
Sold
bought
concubine chamber.
he bought a Jewel of the Skies temple. He's got like a harem. And he just like lays in it like this.
It's
Man.
a coffee pillow.
So going back to the topic, what is? I mean, freedom. Austin, you said a minute ago. You said freedom of religion. Is that important?
Yeah,
Why?
We wouldn't be doing this podcast right now.
well, you did.
But I mean, do we take that for granted? Do we choose? Do we have? I'm trying to think how I want to word the question.
Well, technically, we wouldn't be, or well, we would, because this is more. Is Baptist derived from Catholics? The Catholic
No.
Church?
No.
Nope.
Is Protestant? Okay.
Yeah.
we would be prosecuted then.
Oh, I know we would. But the thing is, though, how important is that? How important is that thinking about or knowing or even realizing that, you choose which church you want to go to. You choose the style of worship you want to take part in. But, that's freedom alone. But what about the freedom we receive because of what Jesus did for us on the cross? I talked about that Sunday morning in my message. There's a freedom we receive once we say yes to Him that, because every one of us, I don't care. Well, we're all under the bondage of sin. And we're all going to be under that bondage of sin. But because of what Jesus did for us on the cross, He's removed that bondage, removed that from us. And the downside is, though, we're free.
Some people take it to the next level where they.
We'll tell you this, but we have this
Like
freedom.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
But no, that's not even in the same ballpark. But we have this freedom, but we don't tell anybody about it. That we have this freedom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But think about it. And
Goal line defense is too strong.
yeah, I was thinking about it. In our Wednesday night series with the high schoolers, we're doing on different religions and cults, and tonight we're talking about Satanism. And man, that whole chapter alone, my brain still hurts.
It's so weird. I read the whole book.
I know you did, but it's
It doesn't
designed.
make any sense to me.
That's why you got me to.
Let's
go.
do
Like it makes that small amount. Okay, but I contradict myself.
Like
It makes a small amount of sense.
right now, I haven't even started reading that book yet. The title of this book that we all got, or well, Chuck handed us out,
To
is
a
they
select
can't-
few.
They all can't be right. And it says, "Do all spiritual beliefs lead to God?" And it's by Steve Russo. And it just depicts, it talks about the different religions and sects.
And it's giving it to you in a bite size. I mean, not
Yeah.
bite size because some of that stuff you really gotta.
Yeah, some of it's like in depth.
It is in depth.
But
But think about it. But the freedom that we have, we have this freedom, but we're not telling people about it. And my message Sunday night was the topic of my message Sunday night. Do you want to be free? And we was looking at Mark chapter 5, where it looks at the man who's demon possessed by legion. In Roman Empire, legion was 6,000 troops, and so this guy, we know this guy was at least possessed by 2,000 demons, because when the demons asked Jesus to be cast into the herd of swine, Scripture says 2,000 pigs went off the cliff and drowned. I mean, can you imagine bad enough being possessed by one, but 2,000?
you'll be ripping yourself apart.
He was. Scripture says that he was in torment. He was yelling and screaming and cutting himself day and night, and he was so strong that they couldn't bind him with chains. I mean, he was breaking chains. But the cool thing was, Jesus comes in, removes those demons. The guy, after being free from this bondage, wants to go with Jesus in the boat to the other side of the lake, and Jesus says, no, go back and tell your people what's happened. And that's the freedom that we all experience. We say yes, we have the freedom to tell others about who Jesus is. You know, a year ago when I was overseas in North Korea, didn't have that same freedom, and almost didn't have that same freedom when we were in China. I mean, we had some freedom to share, but didn't have any freedom in North Korea. As a matter of fact, I saw where they've got a guy who is a professed Christian, has been jailed since 15 years in prison for wanting to, quote unquote, overtake the government. I mean,
Christians.
well, that's the thing, that there are still parts of the world that don't have the same freedom we do. Yeah, history says we wanted our freedom because we didn't want to be under the rule of England, which that's a majority of it. But the other part of it, we wanted to choose who we worship and how we worship. They weren't happy with the way the Church of England was doing things, and so
the main part of it.
The
Taxes.
well, the taxes,
Like a fresh start thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though,
People who are ex-cons coming over here.
but think about it. We have this freedom to worship. We have this freedom to tell us about, but we're not doing it with this freedom that's been given to us. Yeah, we're free to go do what we want to do when we want to do it within reason. But what are we doing beyond that when it comes to our freedom? And so, the sad thing is, a lot of people take their freedom for granted. We live in a land of opportunity. We live in a land that is supposed to be the greatest nation in the world. And we've got churches on every corner. People aren't going to them. And so, my only thought is, when we talk about freedom, freedom is great as long as you don't take it for granted.
That brings up the point of, why it's so easy to do all these things and not as easy to go to church, is because our society has put this image out there that's uncool or unpopular to be a Christian or to be one of God's people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree.
It's just gonna eventually destroy America, I think.
We're going to get to the point where we're going to be told what we can preach on and what we can't preach on. It's coming. It may not be in my lifetime.
It's like the 300-year thing that China goes through.
Mm-hmm.
Because, every 300 years, China usually, their government usually falls.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets reestablished.
Something about changing dynasties.
Then it goes to another 300 and falls, but America's coming. It's going to happen to America, too.
That's what we pray diligently. We are at the end of this month's episode. Any last comments from anybody?
Go see every movie you can while you still can.
What is? I don't know this.
Populate Hollywood with your money.
Populate Hollywood with your money.
Save the rich.
Save the rich. Any comments from you, Austin? Well, on behalf of myself, Chuck Jonas,
Z Dupree.
Lucas Mallory.
Austin Corbett.
we will see you next time on Three Nerds and a Minister.
Goodbye.
Out.